A viewer wants to know, how do you get people who have a library card but haven't used it in a long time to come back to the library and use the library? Great question. We have 4 tips for re-engaging those inactive card holders in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from superlibrarymarketing.com. You all know you can go there and scroll to the bottom left corner, enter your email so you get notifications every time I post. You can also click on the Library Marketing Show tab and nominate your library or someone else's library for our Kudos Award. I like to give kudos to libraries that have some kind of success publicly with library marketing. And we're going to get started today's episode with kudos, which is going to the Marysville Public Library in Missouri. They got some coverage in their local paper for their children's business fair. They profiled a 12-year-old who was able to start her own business after attending the business fair last year. This is a great example of why it's really important to gather customer testimonials at all of the events that you hold at the library, because if it's a recurring program, the next year you can use those customer testimonials to promote the program. I'm going to put a link to this coverage down below in the show description if you're watching on YouTube, or in the comments if you're watching on LinkedIn, but I just want you to read it. And great job, Marysville Public Library. All right, let's get into today's topic. A viewer named Joan wrote in and asked how to get people who have a library card but who haven't used that library card in a while, how to get them back engaged with the library. So I have 4 tips for you. The first one is to actually use your data to try to narrow down how you're going to approach this. My guess is that most libraries, unless you have been doing an active job of trying to engage these cardholders, you probably have a pretty large number of people who have signed up for a library card in the past but maybe haven't used it in a while. Go through the data. Can you kind of figure out some segmentation in this area? In other words, is there like a certain age group that these cardholders tend to fall into? Is there a certain location in your service area where this tends to be happening? Or is there an activity that many of these cardholders took, maybe their last activity, but they haven't come back to the library? Any kind of information that you can glean from data can help you as you are trying to re-engage these folks. You kind of want to know who they are and what they were doing, so you can come at them with some messaging that resonates with them rather than just saying, hey, come back and use the library. Tip number 2 is to give them some perks to come back to use the library. You can do this in a number of ways. You can do, if your library is not fine free, you can do fine free for a week or 2 weeks just for those inactive customers to get them to come back. You might also do like some giveaways for these particular card holders. So maybe you incentivize them to come back into the library. I did this when I worked at the library in Cincinnati. I had some gift cards that were donated, and I sent an email to all of my inactive customers and told them if they came in and checked out an item, they'd be given a form to fill out and that they could sign up, use that form to enter the giveaway, and it worked really well. The great thing about getting them to come in because of an incentive is then you have all that information about who has re-engaged with your library, and then you can actually do a reconnection drip campaign. 2 or 3 emails that you send to those folks that reintroduce your library's resources to them. Tip number 3 is to make reconnection really easy. Sometimes people don't engage with the library because it is sometimes difficult to use our resources. So maybe provide these folks with a quick guide on how to access their online account or their dashboard, especially if you've changed websites or changed catalogs since the last time they used the library. Maybe you send them a little guide on how to reset their PIN for their library card, or how to explore your library's website. Links and tutorials can be really helpful. They don't have to be long. Make them as short as you can, and teach people how easy it is to reconnect with their library. And then tip number 4 is to do some targeted campaigning. So you can use geofencing or geo-targeted ads on social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram. You can also do some targeted ads on your local community boards, maybe in a local newsletter if there is one, or with a partner organization's newsletter, to make sure that folks know what is now available at the library, especially if they haven't engaged with them in a long time. So those are my 4 tips. I am certain my other viewers have lots of other tips. So if you have done something specific to re-engage your inactive cardholders, let's help Joan out. Let us know down in the comments and we'll get a conversation started. That's it for this episode of the Library Marketing Show, but my channel is full of other tips for library marketing. If you want to learn more, head on over to this next video. I'll meet you there.